Okay, across the top here, when you log in, you will be presented with this page here. So I'm in the green area. It will have your time, the forums, and what have you. What we need to be able to do is think about your decisions. Okay, so every week you'll be required to make decisions. All the instruction videos of what you're looking for and support material is here under the tutorial button. Hopefully you've already read the how-to guide and you understand the aims of the simulation. Moving along, we have the market outlook. In the market outlook, here is the information about what is likely to happen. So this is your marketing research about what's happening. So it's saying about the demand level, and it gives you some advice about advertising, channel investment, and what have you. We're thinking about this for both the European market and the Asian market. So you've got two outlooks here. In your first round, you have a decision which market you want to enter. I would highly recommend that you enter both markets simultaneously. However, you can decide which one is more important to your team financially. And here is some financial information here. The next decision that once you've read all the materials, the decision you can make is about your product. Okay, so the product for the simulation is like a mobile phone. So it is a mobile phone, and you can choose there are certain segments of the market, and you can choose to target particular segments. So once you've read the market outlook, you can then decide which segment is important to you, and you can create a product. How you create the product is by clicking a particular market. So you can make a product that is for the European market and the Asian market, or just the European market. So depending on which market you want to do this product for, you can make the product. The first thing you do is change the product name. So you can put whatever you want to call it there, and you can think about your branding strategy, what the name is, what have you, but really this is just to identify the product. You can then decide whether it's a brand new product, and this is one if you want to then think about a brand new product. So we're going to say it is new here, but in future rounds you can decide whether if you're going to make another product, you can choose to enter a new product and create an additional product rather than deleting a particular product line. So it's really important that you think about how many products you have and whether you want to save them in the market, whether you want them to be the same name, or whether you want to change the product. So we choose which market, so Asian or Europe, and it will say here's some information, and you can choose between whether you want the classic, the avant-garde, or the sport phone product. So you just have the three choices that you want to make, and I recommend that you choose what the look or the design based on the market outlook and on your own personal strategy for your organisation. So you can choose to have photo, extra media, extra storage, premium display, navigation, and security. As we're adding more features, the cost of the product is increasing, and then you can choose the rate of compactness and the rate of battery life, and you can put this here. So it says here battery life must be a whole number between 1 and 52 in this period. So because of how much research and development costs, 52. There's only certain levels that you can achieve in here, and this is a scale. So 100% is the most. So 52 is the most that you can have. Oh, so it says hang on, 99. So the problem that we have here, so you can see that I want it as compact as possible and as high as battery life as possible. But at this stage in the market, if you want to have compactness, the impact of having a compact product is that the battery life, the battery that you can fit in it has to be smaller. So if you want high power battery, the cost is going to be on compactness. Now, if there's anything that you're not sure about along here, there's question marks. So here it can say what the scales are, and it will explain this idea. So you need to think about your segment. So high-end companies, high-end households. Think about their needs and create a product that responds to those. If we think about the cost here, the cost of the product is here, and here is how likely our market is going to want it. So I've made a fantastic product, but it may be that my particular segment doesn't need all of those features. So you have to choose the features. What's your brand going to be renowned for, or what have you? So you have your products. You then have your market. So we have our phone that I've created in the last one, and then we can see the channels, so the different segments here, the size of the markets, so the total market size by segment. So this is an estimation of what we can have, and then what we're wanting to do here is forecast how many products that we're going to make. So we need to look at our segments, look at the data that's in here, and make a decision about how many products we are going to make. The closer we are to our target determines how successful we are. So you've got to make sure that you make enough so there is demand, but you don't want to make too many, because next year you're going to be left with lots of products left over, and there's going to be costs relating to inventory. Okay, so we've got the sales forecast, so we can think about the number of units that we want to make. So we've got to think about our sales price. We've also got to think about our sales forecast and how much we want to spend on advertising. So we have to think about the cost that we want to put in here. So if we think about spend on advertising, if we've got our sales price and I put £1,000 for my super duper phone, we can then think about how many we're going to sell. We need to think about this in terms of where we're going to sell them. So we've got department stores, appliance stores, or specialty stores. So we can think about specialty like phone shops, appliance stores like your PC Worlds or what have you, or your department stores like John Lewis. So we can think about who's spending or buying where are they buying. This allows us to think about our advertising costs, and we can think about how many we're going to sell to each group. Now, I haven't thought about this, so I'm just putting in random numbers. And it may be that your product isn't going to be, you may not want to sell your product or be targeting to high-end companies. So you may think, well, this is a product for households, and you may have a higher sales forecast here than down here. So but it's down to you to decide how many products you're going to make. and you also can choose how much you're going to spend on advertising. So this product might be really popular. We might want it to be really popular with companies. So then I would advertise that more to them. And high-end companies and high-end households, not that much. So these are choices that you can make. We can then think about the channel investment. So how much are we going to invest in our support for our different retailers? And then based on our sales figures and things that we've put on here, it's saying what our sales price is, what our variable costs are, and then our unit margin before advertising. So these are our costs in this round. And then we can see the profit, the margin after advertising, and then this gives us our margin after our communication. So we're thinking about the support. So it's important to think about the support and our channel investment as well. Moving on, we can then decide how long our extended warranty period is going to be. So we can think about it 18 months, and we can think about what the cost is going to cost for that. Or we can have 5 years. Or you can have any of these periods, but then it will then have the value of the warranty costs. Obviously, if we're having a warranty that lasts 5 years, there's going to be costs this year and the following rounds. So we have to think about, or you have to think about, how much investment you want to put in there. We can also think about the margin on repairs that we want to achieve and how many we want to put in here. So I'm just putting 100s just so we've got stuff in here. And then it shows you what the revenue is going to be for each of those areas. The next thing that we need to think about is our investment in research and development. So we can think about how much we want to pay into research and development. The important thing to remember with research and development, this comes out of our margin, and we have to pay for the research and development. In future rounds, you'll be able to see how much like extra money or how much money you can make on this. So you can choose, so it suggests 3,500, but obviously you can do as much as you want. The more you spend on research and development, the better your product's going to be. But this is a choice about how much. So each of these choices are strategic decisions. It's thinking about, where do you want your product to be? How much do you want to charge for it? How technologically superior do you want it to be? And what are you interested in? Now, because I've gone in as the student, it's created information in this column. What we need to do, if we're happy with these decisions, we can make adjustments here, but we have to make sure, and this is the most important thing, is that you import the indecisions in there, and it will say, are you sure? If you don't import your decisions in here, then you're not going to save your decisions. At the moment, we've only got one product, and we've got the details of the product in here. But you can have up to 6 products, and those 6 products can be in either the European or the Asian market, or both. You can think about the customer care. So this is a decision checklist that you need to go through, and I'd recommend that you always you have to import your decisions. Once you're happy with that, you check all of your decisions that you're happy with those.